Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. Today, I'd like to talk about Xing Yi Quan. Xing Yi Quan or Xing Yi is one of the three internal styles of the Chinese martial arts. The other two being Tai Chi Chuan and Bagua Zhang. Check the description box for the links to the intro videos on those styles. Xing Yi's unique characteristics are simple and easy to practice movement, powerful force-releasing techniques called Fajin in Mandarin, and a well-developed style including both theory and practice accumulated over many generations of practitioners. Xingyi can help its practitioners achieve a good level of self-defense skills and physical fitness among other benefits in a comparatively short period of time. Therefore, there's a famous proverb in the Chinese martial art community that you can defeat your opponent after practicing Xingyi for a year. However, you cannot leave your teacher even after 10 years of practice of Tai Chi. Here, leave your teacher means that you are ready to use your practice in combat. This proverb in Mandarin is 10年太极不出门，当年行义打死人. For that reason, and for more than a century, Xing Yi has been considered as one of the representatives of the practical fighting styles in Chinese martial art community following its recorded existence. In this video, I will talk about some interesting topics. First, the literal meaning of the term Xing Yi Quan. Second, a brief history of Xing Yi Quan. Third, core curriculums of Xing Yi Quan. 4. Practice, procedure, and standard for each step. Topic 5. Example of a Xing Yi Quan practice, including demonstration. 6. Current issues in Xing Yi Quan practice. First topic, the literal meaning of the term Xing Yi Quan. In Mandarin, there are three characters used for this term, for this name: Xing, Yi, and Quan. Xing means body, or form, or structure. Yi means mind, spirit, or intention. Quan means fist, or martial art in general. People often call this style the body-mind boxing in English. I think it is a pretty accurate translation. In China, people just call it Xingyi without adding the word Quan. Personally, I prefer to use the name Xingyi since it is short and easy to pronounce, which reflects the nature of this style. Second topic, a brief history of Xingyi. Many people say that the founder of this style is Yue Fei or General Yue, who is the historical figure in the Chinese history dating back to the Song Dynasty, or about 900 years ago. General Yue has been considered as a national hero by many Chinese for generations. Considering him as the founder of that style would give it historical and cultural significance. Born and raised in China myself, I totally understand why people did so. However, there's no written document to support this claim, even we were to overlook the absence of documents. General Yue only lived for about 39 years. As the top military general of the royal court, given his busy and short military career, he couldn't have had the time to develop this style. Throughout Chinese history and even in modern times, there has been an interesting phenomenon that people prefer to give the credit of their own work to historical figures or their ancestors. I think claiming Yue Fei as the founder of Xingyi is a perfect example of this cultural phenomenon. A popular legendary story about the founder of Xingyi is that Xingyiquan, a martial artist from Shanxi province of China, dating back to about less than 400 years ago, found a training manual in one of the General Yue's temples. He studied that training manual and eventually created a new style which is known today as Xing Yi Quan, or hard mind boxing in English. Of course, there are different versions of this story as well, and I don't think it is necessary for us to talk about them here. So, the style created by Xingyiquan is Xingyi, or hard mind boxing. Later, around 1840s, a gentleman by the name Li Luoneng traveled to Shanxi province from his hometown Hebei province to study a style of Xingyi. Because there were different branches of Xingyi back then already. This style is known today as Dai family Xingyi. After years of study, practice, and innovation, Li Luoneng created a new style which is known today as Xing Yi Quan, or Xingyi. From then on, Li Luoneng became the founder of Xingyi. Today, there are two main branches of this style based on their unique characteristics. One is Hebei style, the other one is Shanxi style, both named after two provinces in China. The style I practice is Hebei style. However, like any other styles, new branches of each style emerged with further development resulting from the contribution of generations of masters. For example, in Hebei style, there are different branches or sub-styles such as Li Cunyi, Zhang Zhaodong, Sun Lutang, Xue Dian, and others. Personally, I have studied most of these styles. More specifically, I systematically studied Zhang Zhaodong, Li Cunyi, and Xue Dian styles of Xingyi. I believe that all of these styles have equally helped me practice, understand, and master Xingyi. For quite a while, some people in China and some of my students in Canada suggested that I create my own style of Xingyi, or Yang style Xingyi. Every time I heard this, I felt uncomfortable. Yes, I have studied many styles, and I have contributed toward promoting this style in China as well as the West, including conceptualization of some training principles, teaching and promoting Xue Dian's style of Xingyi and Xiangxing Shu, offering some training materials to the community. However, I don't think what I'm practicing and teaching is beyond the traditional Hebei style. In fact, it is just Hebei style. If someone calls it Yang style Xingyi after I pass away, then that won't be my problem. Topic 3. Main curriculums of Xing Yi Quan. There's a clear standard and criteria in Chinese martial art community to define and verify whether a style is well developed or not. Routines without a well-developed theory, principle, weapons, applications, and other necessary elements are just called that routines. They cannot be considered as a style. Xingyi is a complete and well-developed style because this style has stance training, single movements, Fali exercise or power releasing, 5 elements drills for 5 types of power training, 12 animal drills for 12 sets of skills and techniques. Routines such as 5 elements linking form, 8 posture, 12 face routine, mixed face routine, 8 words, 17 postures, which is integrated routine of Xue Dian Xingyi movement. It is my creation. And 2-person forms, weapons training, applications, Xiangxing Shu, which is a sub-style created by Xue Dian to improve the Xingyi practice in terms of body and structure method. Furthermore, Xingyi has its own internal power training practice as well. I have teaching this material to my students in China, in Canada, and other countries. And I hope to introduce and propagate the above training materials and the method to the community. I hope more and more people will practice this wonderful style. Topic 4. Practice procedure and the standard of each step. Like any other style, to practice Xingyi, one must follow a specific training procedure. Apart from common exercises such as stretching and body conditioning, one should start by working on Santi stance, which is considered one of the iconic practice of Xingyi. After practicing Santi stance, then 5 elements, 12 animals, and other routines should be practiced. Weapons and force training should also be added simultaneously to the training routine. Guo Yunshen, part of the second generation of Xingyi, once offered a theory to explain the 3 levels of practice based on the quality of force and power, called Ming, An, and Hua in Mandarin. This can be translated to obvious force, hidden force, and neutral force in English. Please be careful that Ming or obvious force does not mean hard, An or hidden force does not mean soft, and Hua or neutral force does not mean casual. I will explain this topic in future since it is the important concept in Xingyi practice. To be qualified as a well-trained Xingyi martial artist, one has to not only master the movements, routines, applications, force releasing, and the Xingyi theory, but must also pay attention to the quality of practice. The real beauty of this style is to be able to practice its simple movements at a high level. It's just like a diamond. Even though a diamond is just composed of a single element, carbon. But a diamond is strong, it's solid, and unique because of its structure. Xingyi practice focuses on structure as well. To master Xingyi, you should pay special attention to its body structure aspect. Topic 5. An example of the Xingyi practice, including demonstration. In Xingyi practice, we emphasize the principle of coordination. Very often, people perceive and apply this term when working on dynamic movement, but not when working on the stance itself. For example, when practicing Pi Quan or the metal fist, many people focus only on coordination between hand striking and foot stepping. It's right, but not enough. Otherwise, if it's so simple, then why have so many Xingyi masters emphasize this principle? Actually, the coordination principle is applied in stance more than in a dynamic movement. In Xingyi, we call this triangle force or 三角力 in Mandarin. Now, let's talk about what triangle force is. It is the intention in our mind and structure adjustment physically when maintaining a correct posture in stance practice. Let me demonstrate this principle by talking about Santi stance. My objective here is not to introduce Santi stance, but to emphasize the importance of coordination principle in stance training or triangle force. I always tell my students that Xingyi stance practice is just to create and adjust a structure consisting of multiple triangles. Okay, now let's talk about the concept of coordination principle in Xingyi practice by demonstrating the Santi stance. So this structure, this practice is commonly practiced by any Xingyi practitioner. So there's the triangles. First, the triangle is the head with the palm and the back palm. This triangle. Second triangle is head, palm with the front foot. Third triangle is the head with the back foot with front palm. Then other triangle is the little finger, thumb, and index finger. Then another triangle is the bike, front foot and the front hand, and many more. So in practice, when you keep that structure, you should intentionally adjust, have those kind of movement, a small motion to adjust the strength or the force applied in each triangle. For example, when we focus on the head and palm and the front hand, we try to slightly adjust this. Head is turned up, palm push forward, this palm push downward. Then the 2 feet and the lower dantian is another triangle. So front foot push out, dantian sink downward, or feet press inward, then dantian turn. Or another triangle, let's say the palm, the little finger push forward, thumb push forward, index finger point upward, then curve the palm inward to create the triangle on the palm. So each practice, you can adjust the strength of each triangle intentionally. That is the key of coordination. Without those kind of small details, then your stance will be less productive, effective in terms of the quality. So pay attention to those triangles. When we push the head up, palm extend forward, palm push downward. When the feet push out, then dantian sink downward. When the feet squeeze inward, dantian turn. And when the front palm push forward, the higher back push backward, and the front right palm push downward and hold back. So adjust those kind of small this structure by applying small movement. That is the real coordination. So please pay attention to this kind of small dynamic practice in the static stance. Your Xingyi practice will be improved with time. Current issue of this style. Xingyi practice has many unique characteristics, but simplicity is the common key aspect to all of them. Simplicity here does not mean the movements are simpler than those found in other styles. Rather, it implies sharpness in Mandarin. However, after the 1950s, with the creation and promotion of modern wushu, the traditional Xingyi practice was affected, especially the standard used to judge a Xingyi practice has been confused or misled by many people. For example, recently, some people claim that there's no Fa Jin or power releasing practice in Xingyi. Some people even claim that Xingyi practice should be very soft in the beginning, or as soft as a popular Tai Chi practice. Some people add a lot of useless and overabundant movement into their practice. All of those outrageous approaches are polluting this style, which should be corrected in the future. I have been working hard to promote authentic Xingyi for years. I really appreciate the valuable support from the community. I'd be happy to have you join me in practicing and promoting Xingyi going forward. If you like this video, hit thumbs up, leave a comment, and I will respond as soon as I can. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when I post new videos. Also, follow me on Facebook, link is in the description. Thank you for watching, see you next time, and happy practicing!